Hey everybody, welcome back. Another episode of Banish the Doubt. Today I want to talk about, we'll continue this conversation about our subconscious, letting go, but also I want to add in the word faith. Okay, I've been reading a book by Neville Goddard here. It's not by me right now, but it's called Faith is Your Fortune. And it really comes down to what is it that you believe? You see, your world is working out, if you will, exactly the way that you have chosen it to work out. Now, to some, that may be frustrating when they hear this. I know at one point in my life it was kind of hard or frustrating to believe, but you want to develop a rigorous honesty, not with anybody else, but with yourself, first and foremost. You want to become honest with who you are, okay, and where you're at in your life, okay, and become peaceful in understanding that you are exactly where you are supposed to be right now in this time. So I want to take some excerpts and some passages, if you will, some quotes from Neville. So one of the first ones is this: a man or person's thinking, okay, follows the tracks laid down in their own inner conversations. See, a lot of my videos now are really going to start to center around how it is that you and I talk, but to ourselves, not to anybody outside. See, because you might want to jot this down. And if anybody watching this feels the need that they would like to have more of a work with me on this one-on-one, go to my channel, click on the link. I'd be happy to work with you on this. But understand that what the way we speak, our speech is nothing more than the manifestation of our inner talking, how we speak to ourselves. So this this quote by Neville: a person's thinking follows the tracks laid down by our inner conversations. So how we speak to ourselves is ultimately going to outplay itself out. Okay. And how we speak to ourselves is nothing more than just a manifestation of the beliefs that we have about ourselves. It can be no other way. So, um, one of the things I've heard Bob Proctor say, he talks about these our lives being in paradigms, and Vadim Zeland in his book Reality Transurfing talks about them as well, the word is escaping right now. Not paradigms, but it'll come to me. But pretty much the same thing. Okay, so a paradigm it is ultimately how you believe, what these beliefs you hold about yourself. So understand you're in a paradigm. Okay, this paradigm has developed these beliefs that you have. These beliefs have manifested into this inner talking with ourselves, and this inner talking has laid down the tracks on which the path that we walk down. Okay, so to turn the tracks then, okay, so if you're not exactly comfortable with who you are, where you're at, or where you're going, or you really don't have much in the way of goals or in the way of any type of direction, to turn the tracks then for which you are tied in the direction, so turn them in the direction you want to go, you must put off the former conversation, or as the Bible calls, the old man. So you want to become conscious of what you've been unconsciously saying to yourself. So put off the old man, as the former conversation, Neville says, or the old man that the Bible talks about, okay? And then be renewed in the spirit of the mind. So we really want to adopt this practice, if you will, daily of just being silent. Now, that may be waking up an hour earlier, or going to bed an hour later, whatever it may be, a point in time in your life, in your day, to just be silent. Okay. And you want to just pay attention to the thoughts that come up. If it's in the morning, what are your thoughts? Where are they going? If it's if it's the same regurgitated, recycled thinking, that's fine. No judgments, no condemnation. Just start to understand where are these thoughts, and you want to then understand. You want to get a goal. Okay, you want to, and if you don't have one, or you feel as though you're a little kind of drifting, when you're in this silence, you want to just close your eyes and picture your ideal self. What would a perfect day be like for you? What would you be doing? Who would you be with? Where would you live? These types of questions. You may want to write it down. Okay. You may want to write down the words like Bob Proctor talks about. I am so happy and grateful now that whatever it is, because otherwise we're living in this paradigm. We're sort of going around in circles. Okay. Each day looks a lot like the previous day. And if the day you're living looks a lot like the previous day, then the next day or days are going to look a lot like what is taking place right now. So continuing with this, speech. Speech is the image of mind. Therefore, to change one's mind is to first change the speech. And what is speech? It is the mental conversations that we carry. Okay? So these conversations that we carry with ourselves, we want to start to change them. Because A, we want to become aware of them, and B, we want to start to change them. Start to focus our minds on what it is that we would like to have, to do, to be. Okay, it could be starting a business. It could be losing weight. It could be having enough money to pay all your bills with money left over. Okay, so then one of the techniques you may want to start to adopt would be when you look at your bank account, you don't see. Okay, we see with the physical eye, but we want to start to see with our internal eye, or that vision that we want. So we want to see how much money do we want in there. Okay, we want to look at the number, but then change it. Somebody watching this today may say, okay, my bank account reflects what my mortgage balance is at all times. Okay, so a affirmation could be, I am so happy and grateful now that my bank balance, after all my bills are paid, reflects my mortgage balance. I am so happy. And you might want to write this down. Write it down. As Bob Proctor would say, you might want to write it down 100 times a day. Just write it down, because by doing this, what we do is we effectively suck the oxygen out of that paradigm. So it could be something as simple as, if you don't want something that, you could be something as simple as maybe you don't wake up on time and you're always rushing to get to work in the morning. Something as simple as, I am so happy and grateful now that I wake up as soon as the alarm goes off in the morning. Okay, write it down. Write it down 100 times per day. Now, to the intellectual mind, that may seem, well, you're wasting your time doing this. Well, that's never going to, we want to change the speech. Okay, we want to write that down. I am so happy and grateful now that I wake up every morning as soon as the alarm goes off. Write that out. So, whatever it may be, I am so happy and grateful now that, and then you fill in the rest of it. To change the thinking, to change the paradigm, we want to do this. Okay. Now, moving on from this, we want to start to observe. It's all about faith. Okay, what are we going to put our faith in? And now, in order to sort of underneath faith, we want to observe. We want to become more aware of what we maybe have been unaware of. So, this is again with Neville. Observe the meaning you are giving to the information that shows up via the five senses. through our self-talk. So you're out and about, okay? You're going to observe the meaning, you're given the information. Okay, what's the information coming in? Through our eyes, through our ears, okay? Through our five senses. What's the meaning? But more importantly, what's the meaning we're giving it through our self-talk? Okay, you can really observe people's um, paradigm, people's self-talk by just observing them. Observe how they are in crowds, in gatherings. Okay, so you can see how somebody is sort of standoffish. Maybe they're not somebody who walks up to somebody, introduces himself. Okay, now you may want to adopt something along the lines of my self-talk is if you're more of a shyer person, more of a kind of person that sort of doesn't really get, is not really extroverted, and you want to be more of that person who is extroverted, not, the class clown, but more outgoing. I am so happy and grateful now that I easily greet people. Okay. I easily interact with others. This is changing the self-talk. This is how we start to change the paradigm within ourselves, change the self-image. I am so happy and grateful now that I am this new and confident and this new confident person, this new confident, self-assured person. I am so happy and grateful now that I no longer allow others' opinions of me to dictate who I am. One of the quotes I have, I believe it's from Wayne Dyer, what others think of me is none of my business. So something you might want to adopt. So observe the meaning we're giving to the information that shows up via the five senses through our self-talk. Observe the meaning we are given to circumstances that show up via our five senses in the self-talk. Okay? Circumstances. How do we talk to ourselves about these circumstances, whatever they are? If something untoward takes place in our life, what's the self-talk? We want to become more observant of that. We want to start to broaden our awareness. We want to really become more aware of what we've been unaware of, our self-talk through the five senses. So Neville, another big statement by Neville is, they really do not differ, God's promise and God's law. God's promise is fulfilling itself whether you or I know it or not. I want to say it again. You and I, really do not differ. God's promise and God's law really do not differ. God's promise is fulfilling itself whether you or I know it or not. So you're watching this video, you're being attracted to this video, is God's promise. This is, you were meant to be here right now in this moment watching my video. I was meant to be here right here now making this video. It's fulfilling God's promise, God's law. It's the same. So we want to start to adopt, as we're adopting this more of a self-awareness that these paradigms are when we want to sort of break out of them. We also want to have no resistance. We just allow things to happen. Now, when I say allow things to happen, I'm not talking about if, you're in a situation where your life is in danger or something like that. Obviously not something like that. But our life, just to allow it to happen, to put our focus on what it is we want to do, be, or have. We want that to be the focus. We want to have no resistance to anything else outside of that. If whatever is happening in our life is not fulfilling, is not moving us towards our goal, towards that, what we want to have, then there's no resistance to it. Just allow it to happen. Almost like a wave in the ocean. If you're in the ocean, here comes a wave, and let's say you don't want to ride it or whatever, you just let it pass through. You see it come, you go into the middle of it, it's there, the emotion, and then you just allow it to dissipate. Okay? So, man shall decree a thing, and it shall come to pass. Man, you and I, shall decree a thing and it shall come to pass. Now, what's he talking about here? Man has always decreed that which has appeared in his world. So again, we have chosen what has happened up to our in our life up to this point. We have decreed it unconsciously through this paradigm, through these beliefs, but we have done it. Okay. So we have decreed that which has appeared in our world. You and I, we are today decreeing that which is appearing in our world. Whatever is taking place in our world today, we are decreeing that. We are allowing it. We are choosing this to happen. Again, no combination, no condemnation, no judgment, but just we're going to be more aware. And you and I shall continue to do so as long as we are conscious of being man or being a person or being these five senses. See, as long as we're aware of or we're living our life this way based off of what we see in our world. You see, what's in our world, what's in your reality, my reality, is nothing more than just a reflection of our past thinking, those beliefs, the paradigm. You've heard me talk about in previous videos. You've seen, and if you haven't, you're new to the channel, you may want to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and go back into my videos and watch some of these videos I made about our subconscious mind, about the belief systems. Again, this computer, the operating system that's in us, this operating system that's in this computer. You see, but yes, we have this operating system, but we also have this higher self, the I. When we say I am, that I, the higher self, observing all this. And it's God's promise. It's God's law. It is, you are going through this. You have come through whatever you've come through in your life for a reason. Why? Well, because you've come through it. That's why we want to let it go. We want to change the paradigm. We want to change the belief system. We want to let go of that. We want to become aware of what's taking place in our life and our reality. We now become aware that we shall continue to decree that which is in our world, our reality, so long as we are conscious of just being this physical being, not this spiritual being having this physical experience. Okay? We are a spiritual being having this physical experience. And as we're able to kind of step back and view our world through this filter, through this prism of I am, whatever it is you want to do, be, or have, I am that person right now. And anything external to me that is not part of the senses, these five senses, part of them, we can use them to help us to decree that what we want to see appear in our life. Whatever is in our life that's not helping us to get there, we want to just allow it to happen, allow it to pass through, knowing that just being aware of that, allowing that to happen, and focusing ourselves on what we want to do, be, or have, we are drawing that to us. We're actually speeding up the process by doing this. So let me continue. So these are some really big statements by Neville Goddard. Man does not command anything. You and I, we do not command anything by our words. Okay, we don't, because remember, the words are nothing more than just the manifestation of what's taking place in our world. Okay? So our words, what we say, are more often than not nothing more than a confession of our doubts and fears. You see, when somebody is acting out, they're in a rage, they're upset, road rage. Okay, perfect example would be road rage. It's these doubt and fears meant coming up. Okay, all those emotions that are deep seated, coming up in that moment. The doubts and fears, the anger, the frustration. That's all that is. So again, man does not command by his words. So you don't tell anybody to do anything. You cannot tell another to do anything. Okay, which are the words which are more than not a confession of these doubts and fears. Decreeing is ever done in consciousness. So, again, we don't say it outward. We don't tell anybody, oh, hey, listen, I'm going to be a millionaire. When I am, we're not going to be anything. I am right now. We don't ever tell anything external. Because remember, anything external to us is nothing more than a manifestation. It's a shadow. It'd be like us telling the shadow, hey, the shadow, I'm a millionaire. And the shadow is nothing more than a casting of what we used to be. Shadow says, I don't care what you are. I'm just your shadow. I'm just a replica of what you've been thinking about. We say it to ourselves. We decree it to ourselves. So going back to the beginning of the video, when we're silent, okay, we close our eyes, we get silent. But now, as we're silent, we start to the inner speaking, to talking. We tell ourselves, I am so happy and grateful now that what is it you want to do, be, or have, okay? Or money now come, if it's money, and you're talking about not having enough, used to talk that way. I am so happy and grateful now that abundance comes to me easily and effortlessly. Money is all around me. Abundance is everywhere. Because truly, people who are abundant, people who have abundance, are the ones who see abundance everywhere around them. So, whatever it is in your in is within you. Whatever it is within you. Whatever it is that you believe, your beliefs is externalized in your outer world. Your outer world and all that is in it was chosen by you. Again, may be somewhat frustrating to hear this, may be somewhat paradoxical, but in order for us to break through this paradigm, okay, in order for us to get rid of these, I'm still the word that it will come to me from the Vadim Zeland book, Reality Transurfing. In order for us to first want to recognize it, and we want to start to change the conversations that are going on in our minds. You are right now all that you need to be. You are exactly where you need to be right now. It could be no other way. You are right now exactly who you want to be, who you think yourself to be. Now, the change is not to change anything external. We change internal. We change the conversations going on in our life. We start to live our lives where when anything takes place external to us, we bring the conversation inside ourselves. We bring the conversation back. We see ourselves reacting. Okay. The old man in the Bible reacts. The person in consciousness who decrees responds. There's a big difference. You react, you're the old man, the old consciousness reacting. Again, no judgment, no condemnation, no condemnation. We just understand, okay, there's still some work to be done. We understand that. But as soon as we start to become aware of this, that's a victory. Okay, pat yourself on the back. When you go to sleep, before you go to sleep tonight, and every night for the rest of your life, if you'd like to do this, it's up to you. It's your choice. It's your life. Do not go to sleep. Okay? Do not go to sleep without reliving your day in your mind, and seeing wherever it is that you kind of went off course, and seeing yourself as taking the right action, as choosing the right path. See yourself that way. That actually changes your subconscious. Because remember, if you haven't seen any other videos of mine, remember the subconscious it's not objective. It doesn't know right or wrong, good or bad. It just says, okay, fine, this is what you're thinking about. And your subconscious, okay, your reality is your subconscious saying, okay, this is what you're thinking about. This is what we're going to give you. The people in your life are exactly the people who you chosen to be in your life at this time. You did it unconsciously, but you did it. Okay, so we become honest with ourselves. We understand people who are in our life for a reason. This is why you often hear some people saying later on, my biggest adversary, the person who really pushed my buttons the most, ended up being the person I learned the most from. They were my best teachers, because they're reflecting back to you all the things in yourself that you don't that you not that you don't like, well, that you don't like, but you need to change. You want to change. So this is how we do it. we start to live. This is why this video is called Based on Faith. We want to start living in faith that we are right now everything that we want to have. Everything that we want to have in our life is here. Who we want to be, we are. What do we want to have happen is happening now. So we want to live on this faith. And if we do that, then that is your fortune. This is how we change and we break out of that paradigm, and we create a whole new paradigm. Again, if you would like to have any type of help with this, if you'd like to work with me on this, I'd be honored to work with you. Go to my channel, click on the link. Feel free if you'd like to share this video with anybody else. And if you haven't done already, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I love having you here. You can go to my channel. I've also created memberships. I'm going to start putting together membership-only videos. So you want to go there and become a member. Thank you again, everybody, so much for all your attention and watching this video. Leave some comments down below. I certainly love answering any questions you guys may have. And until I see you the next time, God bless. And just know that you are exactly where you need to be. You are enough. You have suffered enough. You're worthy. You're deserving. You wouldn't be here if you're not. Remember, God's promise and God's law. It is operating exactly the way it's supposed. I thought it was on that page, but let me see it again. Okay. I want to end this video with this. Remember, they really do not differ. God's promise and God's law. Okay. It's fulfilling itself, whether you know it or not. You wouldn't be here otherwise. God bless. I'll see you again soon.